Alright, let's check out some Kirby's Dream Land 2 for the Game Boy on a Super Game Boy on a Super Nintendo, going through a composite to HDMI converter to an HDMI recorder to the TV with HDMI. As you can see, this game has a battery backup. Luckily, the battery in mine is still good after all these years. Maybe it was changed by a previous owner. Who knows? As you can see, this game looks amazing on the Super Game Boy. It definitely does take advantage of the Super Game Boy with custom borders, custom color palettes. There's even some custom sound effects. You get some extra sound effects at some points when you're on the Super Game Boy. So yeah, like I said, I am recording this in a new way. It is with composite, so it's not going to look as good as, say, emulation could look. But we are playing it on real hardware, and so being able to play this on a real Super Game Boy, I thought was actually kind of neat. This is, as mentioned, Kirby's Dream Land 2. This game came out in 1995. It's developed by HAL Laboratory and published by Nintendo. I've actually never played Kirby's Dream Land before. I've never played the original Kirby's Dream Land, and I wasn't a huge fan of Kirby. Honestly, I don't know why. By the time Kirby came out on the NES, I probably had already lost interest in the NES. I think the Super Nintendo was already out by the time Kirby came out on the NES. And so yeah, same with these Game Boy games. I mean, they're pretty late, 1995 when this one came out. So this is, again, haven't played a lot of Kirby games in general. This is definitely the most I've played of any Kirby game is playing this one. And this is the first time I've ever played a Kirby Dream Land game on the Game Boy. I almost forgot to mention it. This is a Japanese version of the game. It's a Japanese cartridge. But I got it really cheap. It was actually in a store alongside the North American version, and it was way cheaper. I think it was like at least a third of the price of the American release, which is hilarious. You would think, if anything, the Japanese one would be more expensive because over here to us it's more unique. Really, it's the exact same game. As you can see, what little menus and language there is all in English. It's perfectly playable over here, and of course, goes without saying, Game Boy games are region free, so this will play on any Game Boy. Again, like I said, the graphics are amazing. Obviously, I was really impressed with what they pulled off on the Game Boy. Lots of big sprites, lots of nice animation. As this is a Kirby game, of course, you suck up your enemies, eat up your enemies, and then you steal their powers. In this one, they also added 3 little animal helpers. So right now I'm on Rick the hamster. And as you can see, the powers that you use as Kirby, you can suck up the powers. And then you can also get those powers when you're on one of the animals, and they sort of do different things. So there's a lot of combinations between all the special power-ups you can have. This is, I don't know, what is it, Coo or Chew or whatever the name of the owl is. The owl can obviously fly. Kirby can fly too, but now with the owl, you can suck up and shoot things while flying, and it doesn't affect, how you float. So yeah, the owl is pretty cool. The owl with the umbrella. This is a pretty neat combination. You do like a twister tornado attack. We got the fire flame thing. That's actually a pretty good combination on the owl here too. So again, you got all these different power-ups, and then you know they work differently when you're combining them with the different animals. So again, I wasn't a huge Kirby player. This is the most I've ever played any Kirby game, like I said. So you know, I don't remember on the NES exactly how many power-ups there were, but it definitely seems like there's more power-ups and combinations in this one. And this power-up in this boss fight doesn't seem to work so good. It doesn't seem to be hurting the boss, or at least very much at all. So I'm going to ditch the power-up and do it the way they want you to do it. Suck up his little babies and fire them back at him. Yeah, now we're in a water world. We got a water level at least. The fish, Kine, the heck kind of I don't know what's up with these animals' names. The hamster's name is Rick. And yeah, anyways, the fish is obviously better underwater. He can swim against currents, like strong currents. So sometimes there's, you know, secrets that Kirby can't get to when he's underwater that you can get to when you're on the fish. The owl has some extra abilities, like he doesn't slide around on ice. And here is Kine, the fish. I don't think I've shown you the fish yet, so I can't leave until I show you the fish. As I said, the fish is obviously really good underwater. As you can see here, the fish with the ice attack. Normally with Kirby, he just, you know, blows out cold air and it freezes the enemies in front of you. And now when I'm on the fish, it's like this force field. It's really powerful. It kills everything around you. So yeah, again, some of the combinations, you got to figure out, you know, what power-up combinations work best on what animals. And I mean, this is obviously a great combination right here. And look at that color palette swap. From the blue being underwater to this red sky. Yeah, again, they did a good job with the Super GameBoy. Here I think they're trolling you. They give me the fish here, and this is like the worst possible time to have the fish. The owl is, I think, the best one to have here. Is if you get to this part, the screen is constantly scrolling, and it will kill you if you get caught behind something. And it's almost hilarious to have the fish, who is the worst controlling on this kind of land and ice. So yeah, again, I think that was a bit of a joke there that they gave you the fish there. So anyways, yeah, I'll leave it there. This is a great game. Obviously, if you have a Game Boy, you should definitely pick this one up. And you should probably pick up the first one, which I've never played. I've played this one before the first one.